Hello and welcome, this is AgentXP, and welcome back to another episode of Agent Adventures. It's been a while, I haven't played that much Minecraft over the hot summer months, so I'm now back with a bit of an update. For now, we are back here in our original desert area, as I have some business to attend to in this part of the world. But before I do that, I'm just going to harvest some melons quickly. And I'm going to show you something I did not actually know was a thing until recently. If you harvest melons with non-silk touch, you get slices, but you can recombine those to make a full melon. I did not know that was a thing, even though I've been playing Minecraft for a little while now, so in case you don't know that's a thing, it's a thing. You can make melon. Even if you don't have silk touch, you can still get yourself a full melon. Took me a while to find out, but hey ho. Now we know. The first thing I'm going to do today is take a quick trip underground. Now this isn't very far from our desert base. We discovered a Skelly spawner next to this big fossil. And I'm going to attempt something I have never done before. I'm going to try and make a Skelly farm. Unfortunately, its position does mean removing some of the fossil, which is a shame as fossils are pretty rare, but that's unfortunately a necessary trade-off. Let's see how many times I can say the word unfortunately in the same sentence. So what I'm doing now is removing some of the original spawner structure, as we're going to need to open this out and give the skellies more space to spawn. So I believe we're going to have to give it 5 blocks on each side. Like I said, this is my very first time building one of these things, so I am not the biggest expert on this, but it's going to be an extremely useful thing to have. It will be so cool to be able to gather XP. That will be the main benefit, but an additional benefit will be the bones and the arrows and the bows that we get as drops. That's why I'm particularly happy that this is a Skelly spawner. It's definitely the most useful form of spawner in my opinion. So as you can see here, we have opened up the cave and I am proceeding to build out a nice flat area around the spawner. And I'm now putting in a new wall. Of course, I'm placing blocks in all the wrong places. And now we can create enough space for the skellies to spawn. So I'm putting in a wall here, and unfortunately, as I mentioned before, I'm having to get rid of some of that fossil, but that's okay. So let's continue expanding out this room, and I will bring you back in once I've made a bit more progress. We've just been rudely interrupted by Mr. Skellybones here. He obviously doesn't approve of our plans for the spawner, so I think I need to go around lighting up this area a bit to make sure we don't get any more rude interruptions. I can hear mobs. Where are they? Oh, okay. There's a big cave. Right, this could be the source of some of our noise. I think I need to light up this area, because if I do, then the spawning rates in that spawner are going to be a lot better. So I think it's time for a bit of an unintentional caving break. Oh, hello. That's where the zombies were. No, go away. Go away. Was I even using my axe then? Phew, okay. That's dealt with that little problem. Let's have a look around and light this place up a bit. We're going to need to make a drop chute for the skellies as well. Ooh, that's a deep pit. Lots of free iron there though. I'm going to investigate this and see what's down there. But first of all, I'm just going to grab this iron. I'll take free iron any day. Time to check out the pit. Whee! I love doing that. Going down a water stream. It's so much fun. Right, I'm just going to light up this area And, ooh, there's lava down there. Okay, we need to be careful, especially as I've used my water to descend. I'm just going to block that off. I do not want lava in this area. Light up this with a torch. And I think there's a cave down here. Okay, false cave alert. Let's go and explore in this direction instead. I'm going to see what's on this upper level first. We must be almost underneath the spawner here. I might actually have to build myself a drop shaft for the skellies. Oh, that's a dead end. Okay, nothing down that way. Let's see what's lower down then. I might need to make myself a couple more torches before I explore this big cave. So let's go and do that real quick. I always like to carry plenty of wood and coal on me when I'm caving. Well, more the wood, because you can find coal underground, but you can't find wood. So I always keep a stockpile of that. Oh, it's a ravine. I think it's a ravine we've already visited though, because there's obsidian down there. I hope this doesn't pose a problem for my Skelly spawner. Hopefully it's far enough away that it won't. So I'm just going to grab this free iron and then we'll get back to the task at hand. Okay, so we've made a bit of progress since you last saw this area. We have dug out a 5x5 space all around the spawner, and now I just need to tidy it up a bit. I've also gone around lighting up some more caves around this area. Next, I need to lower the floor by several blocks. And speaking of floor, as soon as I take out a couple of blocks, we find the cave beneath the spawner as predicted. This is going to be a bit of a pain. I'm going to have to do a bit of construction work here to try and get the right shape for this spawner. So we need 5 blocks in every direction around the spawner in order to make it as efficient as possible. So, progress has been made. A lot of progress. I have dug out this entire area, 5x5 blocks, and I've also dug a water trench and a drop shaft. So the skellies will fall down there, and the idea is that it will take them down to 1 hit point. So that should be good, and I'll be able to kill them to get XP. So the next thing we need to do is place in the water. We're also going to need some signs as well. As you might guess, I am following a tutorial for this, and I'm going to link that tutorial in the description of this video in case you guys want to go and see that for yourselves. This is a pretty straightforward design, and if I can do it, I'm sure you can. The only difference with my spawner is that it was quite high up in the world. It was almost at ground level. So instead of building a shaft to transport the skellies up and then drop them back down again to inflict damage, I only need a drop shaft as my spawner is quite high up in the world. So it makes it a little bit easier. I was quite lucky to find my spawner. And by the way, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, this is me realizing that I have put the drop shaft in slightly the wrong place, so I decide to actually extend it forwards a little bit and have it dropping down a little further forward. This is me digging down. This is not a great idea, except I do know there's no lava under here because I have made this area below. So I'm just digging this out a bit, and I now find myself down in the room that I've prepared below. So I'm going to build a safe drop area, and we should be able to take out the skellies without them causing us any damage. I'm now adding the water back in now that I've moved the drop shaft, and I can climb back up here, fight against the current, and we need to put in the main water stream below the spawner. So that should all work okay now. That's cool. So I'm now going to get some more water, and we're going to fill in this area. I have loads of buckets in my inventory at the moment. That's all cool. So let's put some in the corner right here, and another one right there. That should be good. Let's fill all of this in. We now have an infinite water source. and we can continue to fill in this area. So it's all water blocks, and it will push the skellies as it's pushing me into this pit. And now for the very fun part. We need to get rid of all of these torches, and skellies are going to start to spawn once I do. So we'll need to get out of here pretty quickly. You may notice that there is a cobble pillar above the spawner, and that's to ensure that no skellies will spawn on top of the spawner. So now I'm going to get rid of the final torches. Oh no! Oh no! Skellies have already started spawning. Ah! I need to get out of here quickly. Ow! 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 Whew! That was close. But we should now have a fully functioning spawner, and the final thing I'm going to do is block off the hole that we made. I'm going to leave the ladder in there just in case I need to go back in for any maintenance, and I'm now going to show you a little secret thing I made. I actually made a window into the area so that I could see the skellies spawning, and I've dug a corridor around the edge of the spawner, and I've slabbed this area as I need to keep it dark. If this area was too bright, it would affect the spawn rates, so I've slabbed this corridor so that nothing spawns in here even though it's dark, and we can sit ourselves here and watch the skellies spawn, which I think is quite cool. Hey, a load of them spawned. You can see that one quite well as he's got enchanted armour. So I really like the little spy hole. I thought it was pretty cool, and what I've decided to do here is make another one at another angle so that we can see the skellies gliding towards the water pit. So I'm actually making a larger window in another hallway that I've dug around the other side of the spawner, and I'm very hastily filling in the gaps with glass because if I leave them open then the skellies can shoot me through it. I'm also slabbing the area so that nothing can spawn in here. Quick, add in some glass like that. Oh, quick, there you go, before anything else spawns. Of course I can't light this area up because it would affect the spawn rates, which aren't too bad so far. There are quite a lot of skellies spawning, as you can see. Now I'm going to turn on shaders and see what this place looks like with shaders. I am using Silder's shaders as I really like those. It looks really cool, but it's a little bit dark. I might bump up the brightness a little bit. That's better. Now we can AFK here for a couple of minutes and see how many skellies we can spawn. Cool, that was quite a lot of skellies. Now let's head on downstairs and see what's happened. This is now the route down to the chamber below. As you can see, I've boxed in the spawner and I've dug a ladder here, so if we drop down this pit we will find ourselves in the area that I dug below the spawner. So there's my chest and my hopper, and there are all the skellies that have dropped. Now in theory we should be able to use a stone sword to kill all of them. And yes, we get loads of XP orbs. This is really cool. It's only the ones with armour are a little tougher. And if I had a better sword, that would be fine. But it's entirely possible to just use a simple stone sword on this thing, as the skellies get taken down to really low health as they drop. Now that we have some XP, let's head back upstairs. The only downside with this design is that you do have to AFK up here rather than down at the drop site, but that's fine, I can deal with that, and I can always improve on the design later on. But for now we're done in here. That's a good project complete. I now have a way to gain more levels, and we're going to ascend this little makeshift stairway. I really need to come up with something better for this. But now we will find ourselves back out in the open desert, and you can see where the spawner is located in relation to our desert base. And doesn't it look spectacular with the setting sun and the shaders? I absolutely love Silda's shaders. They really do bring the world to life. Now that we've gained lots of levels, I think it would be a good time to do a spot of enchanting before we die and lose all our levels. So I am looking at getting a new shovel first. Fortune? I'm not sure. I might actually try a few different tools because I don't think fortune is especially handy on a shovel. Let's break out the bling and make some more tools. I'm going to craft an axe here and see what enchantments I can get on that. Fortune again? Crikey, I keep getting fortune in this world now, and no mending. I really want mending. I'm going to have to crack out another one of those diamond blocks. I hate having to break those up, but oh well. I think I'm going to make myself some diamond armour. It's about time. Cover me with diamonds. It's only been, 13 episodes? I've taken my time over advancing in this world, but I prefer a more chilled approach. So, protection 3. I might try this. What else will we get on it? Protection 3 and unbreaking. Not too shabby. Still no sign of that elusive mending, though. Ah well, that'll be decent for now. Let's see if we have anything better on our axe now. Unbreaking 3, I'll take that. Fortune? On an axe? I didn't want that last time. Oh well, that's a bit sucky, but we'll take the efficiency, and that's by itself, of course. Nothing else on it. I don't seem to get very good enchants at the moment. I'm going to try another pickaxe and see what I get. Efficiency 2, that's not too bad. I'll take that because I kind of want a workhorse pickaxe that's not brilliant, that I'm not afraid to use and potentially lose, so that'll be good. So I'm now back over here in the new area as I want to start some building projects over here, and the area we're looking at now is a good place, I feel, for a barn. I've been wanting to build a barn for a long time as I'd like to keep some cows and some horses, and I'd like to give them somewhere nice to live in this area, and I feel like a barn would fit this setting really well with all the farmland, and it would give us somewhere to store all our wheat. So I'm going to grab some materials and put up a frame for the barn that we're going to build. So guys, here is the wooden frame that I've built for my barn. This is about the size I want to make it. I think I'm also going to put a stairway up the side of that hill leading up behind the barn and off to a potential new village area that I might build in the future. But for now, this is the wooden frame for my barn, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. So the next stage will be to fill in the walls and build the roof. You may notice I've also made some scaffolding to help with the process. So let's get building. I'm going to start off with the roof, as that's always my least favourite part, and I think it would be good to tackle it early. So I now have half of the roof on, and I think it's beginning to take shape. I'm aiming for a rustic style, and that's partly why I went back over the stairs and added in some full blocks to sort of give it a broken feel. So that's looking cool. Let's continue with the rest of the roof. So that's the roof done, and it's looking much more like a finished building already. Now I just need to fill in the walls, and that should be fairly enjoyable and shouldn't take too long. I always find the roof the most difficult thing to build, not least because I tend to fall off quite a bit when I'm building the roof. I didn't quite as much this time, and the scaffolding was definitely very helpful for getting on top of the roof quickly. So I am pretty happy with how that's looking. So I'm just going to go and grab some materials for the walls, and then we can get on with building those. Now that I've filled in the walls, I'm proceeding with my favourite part of the build, which is detailing. I love putting the finishing touches to a build, and I've got a bunch of spruce trapdoors, and I'm going to use this to make a doorway. Trapdoors are a great way of creating a door that is wider than 1 or 2 blocks. It simply gives the illusion of a doorway. It doesn't actually have to open. I'll place a real door in the middle square, and that is the part that will actually open. Next, I'm going to add some beams inside the barn. I want to give it a more barn-like feel, and I also want to create 2 separate stalls on each side of the barn, one for horses and one for cows. I think it's a nice way of dividing up the space. As you can see, I've added some fences for windows, and I'm going to hop around the back of the barn to take a look and see what it looks like from this angle. I think I'm going to detail with some trapdoors, so I like using trapdoors for shutters. I've placed in another door here, and I'm now going to use some logs in order to detail the wall. So I like to try and create 3D effects on my walls wherever possible. Flat walls are never cool in my opinion. I'm adding the extra blocks protruding from the beams, as I want it to kind of give the impression of wooden support beams. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. I swapped out the fences on the windows for trapdoors because I didn't really like the effect for windows this large. I think they look a lot better as trapdoors. So I'm going to add some more details and finishing touches, and then I'll bring you back in for a tour. Time to whack on the shaders, and we can see the final effect of the completed barn. I've been planting some more hedges and wheat fields, and we can walk up this muddy country lane and find ourselves at the barn. As you can see, I have brought some cows into my cow pen at the side, and I've also got some horses and found a new home for the donkey as well. He was a bit fed up being in with the sheep. So I am very happy with my completed barn. I've added in another window on the front, as well as some much needed greenery. And if we go up this little stairway that I've added at the side of the barn, we can take a look at the rear view. I love this back view overlooking the lake, and as you can see, I've added another window in the back section. Random floating trapdoor there. I'll need to get rid of that. So let's take a look inside. I think it's really cozy in here. I've added loads of little details like lanterns, lots of hay bales as this is a barn, and as you can see, I have the doors open on either side. The stalls are open to the paddocks so that the cows and horses can wander in and out of the barn as they please. So they have somewhere nice to come in and shelter if it starts raining or if it's night time. So climbing up to this floor, you can see I've used it as a hay loft. I've also put a bed up here as I don't currently have anywhere to sleep. I haven't built myself a home yet. I've built a home for my cows and horses, but not for myself. But maybe that will change in a forthcoming episode. So we can climb up to the very top of the barn, and from here it's a really cool view up in the rafters, and we can climb back down and take a look at the front again. Hello, horsey. Do you like your new home? That's cool. So I really love this view. I think it's really cozy in here, especially with the shaders on. It's super cool with the warm lighting. So let's pop back outside, and that is going to be it for today's episode. Please do let me know in the comments whether you liked the short time-lapse sections of me building, or whether you'd prefer to just see the completed build, or whether you'd want to see a bit more of the building process. I do tend to find this a bit tedious in terms of footage because I do like to take my time over builds and change things as I go, so there's an awful lot of footage there. But do let me know what you think in the comments. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing me complete my spawner and build this cool barn. In the future, I think I'll be building myself some kind of house or base in this part of the world, because I have a house in the desert area, but I don't really have somewhere to live here. At the moment, most of my stuff is stored in a cave, so that won't do at all. We'll have to change that. So as the sun sets over the world, I'd like to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you have, please do consider liking and subscribing in order to see future episodes. This is Agent XP. Thank you for watching, and TTFN.